Is this what life is meant to be? Could there be something more for me? That is Las Vegas talking to you right now. September 2025, $35 million. A marketing campaign aimed directly at the exhausted office worker scrolling through their phone at lunch, wondering if this is really it. And Las Vegas has an answer. Come let loose. Feel fabulous. It is good for your brain. But here is the thing they are not saying. While they are selling you this dream of escape, casinos are making their real money off people you will never see. High rollers dropping 6 figures on a Tuesday night. Whales moving more money through a single baccarat table than 1,000 weekend warriors combined. Those players do not need billboards. They have private hosts, direct lines, tailored experiences you will never even know exist. So why is Las Vegas spending tens of millions to convince you to come? That question, the gap between who they are talking to and who they actually care about, is where the story lives. The message decoded. Listen to what that campaign is actually saying. You have a routine job. Your days feel the same. Time off is rare. The trip will be short and the release needs to be fast. This is not a vacation where you rest and recover. This is a burst. A few nights where the normal rules do not apply, where pacing yourself is not the goal. Stay out tonight. Go all in. Sleep on the plane. Notice what is missing. No talk of affordability. No mention of deals or savings. No suggestion that this is a place designed to stretch your budget. Spending is assumed. Cost is secondary. The feeling is the product. So let me ask you something. Are they describing you? You have a routine job. Your days feel the same. You have limited time off. But are you willing to drop significant money for an intense experience on a weekend trip? Because if you want to spend moderately, if you are looking for an affordable, fun weekend, they are not talking to you. You can still come. They will still take your money. But this message tells you exactly where you stand in the hierarchy. Here is the relationship dynamic. High rollers get personal hosts, direct lines, and custom experiences. Weekend visitors get mass marketing, standardized offers, and surge pricing. One group is cultivated, the other is accommodated. And the interesting part? This campaign does not hide that. It is actually honest about it. How the system really works. Casinos don't treat every visitor the same. They track, they monitor, they identify high-value customers with surgical precision. Walk into any major casino, and your player's card isn't just earning you points. It is feeding data into a system that knows exactly how much you're worth. Average bet size, time at tables, win-loss patterns, game preferences, how much you're likely to lose per hour. The system categorizes you, and once you are categorized, your experience gets tailored accordingly. Low-tier players get automated offers, mass emails, generic comps. Mid-tier players might get a host assignment, better room offers, invitations to slot tournaments. But whales? Different universe entirely. They get private hosts who know their preferences before they arrive, dedicated phone lines, custom betting limits set just for them, private gaming salons where you will never set foot, complimentary suites that are not even listed in the reservation system. Some high rollers have entire floors reserved for their visits, their own restaurants, their own staff. Certain games, especially high-end baccarat, can swing Las Vegas Strip gaming revenue by millions from month to month. One player at a $50,000 a hand table can generate more revenue in a weekend than 500 slot players combined. There is no public data that cleanly splits casino revenue between average visitors and whales. But the structure of the system tells you everything. High-value players get private communication, personal hosts, tailored offers, experiences designed specifically for them. They do not rely on billboards to decide when to visit. Public campaigns aren't for them. So why market so aggressively to everyone else? Why Vegas still needs you? Because Las Vegas still needs the average visitor, just not in the way you think. Average visitors create volume. They fill hotel rooms on weekends. They pack restaurants, bars, and shows. They generate the energy that makes the city feel alive. And that atmosphere? It matters to everyone inside the system, even at the highest levels. A quiet casino floor is bad for business. High rollers do not want to gamble in empty rooms. The spectacle requires a crowd. You are part of the scenery, part of the energy, part of what makes Vegas feel like Vegas. But there is another role average visitors play, one that is less obvious. They absorb friction, fees, parking charges, higher baseline prices, fewer free perks. All of that lands hardest on people who are not insulated by comps or hosts. People who booked based on the advertised rate and showed up expecting the Vegas they remember. Those costs can rise without disrupting the experience of the guests. Casinos are actually focused on retaining. That is how access itself becomes monetized. The monetization playbook. Here's what happened between the Vegas people remember and the Vegas that exists today. What used to be included became add-ons. What used to be free became priced. What used to be accessible became tiered. Resort fees. They started appearing around 1997, spreading from Hawaii resorts to Las Vegas shortly after. By 2010, they were everywhere. They were not marketed as permanent. They were framed as temporary, a way to cover new amenities like Wi-Fi without raising room rates. Hotels could advertise a $79 room rate and still collect extra money on the back end. It made them look competitive in search results while extracting the same total revenue. Except they never went away. They just kept climbing. At first, some properties resisted. Caesars Entertainment ran promotions bragging about how they did not charge resort fees while MGM did. Then Caesars started charging them too. One by one, they caved. December 4th, 2024, MGM Resorts raised resort fees at its top-tier properties, Bellagio, Aria, Vdara, and the Cosmopolitan to $55 per night. That is not a fee, that is a second room rate. The Federal Trade Commission finally stepped in. In December 2024, they finalized a rule banning hidden junk fees. Hotels now have to disclose the total price, including all mandatory fees, upfront in their advertising. The hotels did not eliminate the fees. They just rolled them into the advertised price. That $150 room now is advertised at $205. Same total cost, same profit margin. Just honest about it now. The deception is gone, but the money is not. Parking was free on the Strip for decades. It was one of those unspoken perks. Free. Late 2016, MGM introduced paid parking. The backlash was immediate. Locals were furious. Tourists felt betrayed. MGM held firm, and within months, other operators followed. Then came the pandemic. May 2020, Las Vegas reopened, and for a brief moment, parking was free again. It felt like a temporary reprieve. MGM announced it as part of their reopening strategy, a gesture of goodwill. People thought maybe casinos had learned something, that the shutdown had reset priorities. June 1st, 2021, paid parking came back. That 14-month window proved something important. Not that parking should always be free, but that the fee was never structurally necessary. It was a revenue choice, not an operational requirement. When they needed customers desperately, they could waive it. When they felt they had leverage again, they reinstated it. Go back to the 1990s and the early 2000s. Las Vegas was packed with free spectacles designed to pull people off the sidewalk. Spectacles, the Mirage Volcano, Treasure Island's Pirate Battles, the Luxor's Nile River Ride, MGM Grand's Lion Habitat, Excalibur's animatronic dragon show, Rio's Show in the Sky. The strategy was simple. Give people something free and spectacular, and they will come inside and spend money. Then, piece by piece, it all went away. The Luxor Nile River Ride closed in 1996. Excalibur's Dragon Show ended in 2004. Rio's Show in the Sky ended in 2006. MGM Grand's Lion Habitat closed in 2012. The Sirens of Treasure Island Show ended in 2013. July 16, 2024, thousands of people lined the sidewalk outside the Mirage. They were there to watch the volcano erupt one last time. Some were filming, some were just standing there. One woman told reporters her mother worked at the Mirage when it opened. She said it was nostalgia, the atrium and the smell, and that all the key pieces that make the Mirage what it is were going to go away. The next day, it closed. By August, demolition had begun. The volcano will be replaced by a guitar-shaped hotel tower. That calculation, free attraction versus monetized space, played out across the entire Strip. A hotel room you can charge $200 a night for generates more long-term revenue than a free volcano show. Free lost every time, not because people stopped showing up, but because something else generated more predictable revenue. The campaign that missed the room. Here is where the LVCVA campaign makes perfect sense. The city launched this campaign during its worst visitation decline in years. There was a 7% drop overall, 12% down in the summer months. Canadian visitors, historically a huge market, were down 15% in the first half of 2025. And the LVCVA's response was $35 million to tell people worried about rising costs to embrace the intensity, to go all in, to sleep on the plane. The campaign launched on September 4, 2025, with a 60-second spot during the NFL season opener. The reaction was not what they hoped for. Vital Vegas, one of the most popular Las Vegas industry blogs, called it one of the most horrific attempts at destination marketing in recorded history. They wrote, "Everyone at the quasi-governmental agency should be fired, along with everyone at its agency of record, R&R Partners." Social media erupted. Comment after comment followed. "Maybe if you stopped nickel and diming us, we would come back. $35 million for this ad, $0 to make parking free again. Welcome to Fabulous, except it costs $55 a night just to check in. I would feel more welcome if you did not treat me like an ATM." Even the LVCVA's chief marketing officer, Kate Wick, admitted the campaign had a rough start. She told the board that unfortunately we did get off to a bit of a rough start with a few local loud voices that became the dominant voice. Out of 300 articles written about the campaign, only 24 were positive. But here is the thing. The LVCVA is not changing course. Because the message wasn't for locals, it wasn't for critics, it wasn't even really for the people who used to love Old Vegas. It was for a very specific type of visitor, the one who will show up, spend quickly, and leave without asking too many questions. Where this goes. The comments section shows a pattern. Not anger, exactly. Something quieter. "I used to go to Vegas twice a year. Now I can't afford it. We saved for months. Got hit with fees we did not know existed. Never again. Vegas used to be the working person's escape. Now it is just another place that does not want us. A lot of people want to see Vegas struggle now. Not because they hate Las Vegas, but because they loved it. And they are watching it change into something they do not recognize. Some analysts think Las Vegas is approaching a tipping point. The combination of rising costs, disappearing free attractions, and a marketing message that alienates budget-conscious travelers could eventually collapse the volume model. Tipping point, some say. If weekend visitors dry up, the atmosphere dies. And if the atmosphere dies, even high rollers lose interest. Atmosphere matters. Others think Vegas will just evolve. They say it will become more like Monaco or Macau, luxury destinations where the average person is not really the target anymore. Luxury cities, they argue. But there is a third possibility, one that is already starting to happen. Maybe the Strip becomes like a stadium, quiet between events, traffic jams when the big headlines arrive, Formula One weekends, Super Bowls, major conventions, stadium-style, intermittently full, and maybe the everyday Vegas, the one that still remembers what hospitality means, moves off Strip. Downtown, Boulder Highway, Henderson. Everyday hospitality could relocate. Places where resort fees are lower or do not exist, where parking is still free, where a cocktail waitress still remembers your name on your second visit. Free parking and lower fees can be the draw. They cannot bring the spectacle the Strip casinos can. No guitar-shaped towers, no fountains that cost millions to operate. But the warmth, the charm, that feeling that you are genuinely welcome and not just tolerated, that can live on a smaller scale, in places that still need you to come back. Warmth survives. The old Vegas is not dead. It is just not on the Strip anymore. None of this surprised Steve Wynn, the man who built modern Las Vegas. He warned about the exact path it is on now and why it would change everything. Go hear what he said.